Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair, and welcome back to...
The Summer of Arnold Schwarzenegger!
And today we are looking at one of the man's newer movies made after his time in politics, Sabotage. Released in 2014, Sabotage is a crime, mystery, gritty, dark thing. Mainly it's got very muted colors and a cameraman who doesn't know how to hold the damn thing steady. Whatever the case, it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as a badass DEA agent and leader of a team of badass DEA agents so badass the rest of the DEA hates them for how badass they are. But you can't have your movie's conflict be that you happen to be a bad enough dude to fight the drug war, and that's where the mystery aspect comes in. After a little side quest, what would happen but the team of badass agents being slowly picked off one by one? With enemies all over the world, but mostly south of the border, who knows who might be doing these horrendous acts? Anyone who pays even the slightest bit of attention, to be honest, but let's take a look at Sabotage and see how obvious it really is. Not exactly starting on the right foot, the movie opens to some found footage of a woman being horribly tortured and murdered. This would be the wife of John Wharton, or Breacher, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. It looks like Arnold just figured out what he's gotten himself into, and he's like, oh god, the paycheck better be worth it. Never mind the horrible death thing, though. We just fast forward 8 months anyway to Breacher leading his team into action. His team, which consists entirely of assholes.
Who the fuck dropped ass?
That was me.
Better check your fucking drawers, bro.
I think that was Brisket, wasn't it? Wasn't that Brisket?
Open a fucking window!
Hey, shut the fuck up!
And no, it doesn't stop. If you want an idea of how the dialogue for this movie goes, ask for some gritty, real characters to be written for you around your local middle school. Not all of them are in the car, though. Lizzie, played by Muriel Enos, is inside the cartel house party, getting high as fuck, and ready to bone one of the guys. Don't worry, it's all part of the plan. Impressive moves, but I'm wondering how getting kicked straight in the balls just slightly staggered the guy. What, is he just used to it? This chaos erupts around the same time the rest of the team arrives, but don't you worry, Lizzie is agile enough to outrun rifle fire.
I'm going in.
You're not going in!
I know where the money is, you!
Well, you could just tell him. I mean, sure, shooting people while being high off your ass sounds fun and all, but might be less entertaining once you're dealing with a few bodily perforations. So the team moves in, whose names come off like brands of energy drinks. We've got Monster, played by Sam Worthington, Grinder, played by Joe Manganiello, Josh Holloway as Neck, Terrence Howard as Sugar, Max Martini as Pyro, Kevin Vance as Tripod, and Mark Schlegel as Smoke. They all have so-called real names as well, but we practically never hear them anyway. Their mission seems to be to get in and kill everyone they find. However, there's also that side quest they picked up along the way.
Holy shit. Until Sam gets his, it's time to get ours. Come on, kids. Let's get paid.
So in case this band of surly psychopathic assholes and drug users isn't good enough for you, don't worry, they're fucking thieves to boot. And no, they're not supposed to be collecting crap tons of currency, but a quick cover story about being under fire is all Breacher needs to keep their higher-ups off his back, while the rest of the team safely snakes $10 million down the toilet. Mostly. We gotta move! Enemies are respawning! I repeat, enemies are respawning! They don't let this slow them down, though.
Now we're just like them!
Oh,
this isn't
shut
who we
your
are!
fucking
This isn't
mouth.
what we fucking do!
I'll take your cut.
Shut the fuck up!
Considering this is the same level of camaraderie they've shown all movie anyway. They have just enough time to conceal the money they're stealing down the pipe, placing the toilet back over it before doing their best impression of YouTube TV. Unless I'm just unaware of this huge population out there that cannot wait to spend $35 a month to use their smartphones to watch The Big Bang Theory. These guys don't care that they got money to collect. Or rather, they thought they did, but what's this? Someone beat them to the punch. The pipe their 10 mil was supposed to be in is nothing but rope, shit, and janky jump cut editing.
Hold up, you guys, hold up. What the fuck is that?
And a 7.62x39 cartridge, because surely leaving one of the most common rounds in existence there counts as a clue to someone. So they don't get filthy rich overnight. However, as luck would have it, they do get accused of theft instantly and have to defend themselves from the claim they swiped $10 million.
It was a big, giant fucking stack of money. How do you know exactly down to the dollar how much was in that room?
Well, the FBI was carrying on a parallel investigation.
That doesn't answer the question, dude. The money pallet was burnt to a fucking crisp, and yet you know exactly how much was taken from it. The only way it makes sense that you would know to the dollar what was stolen from that pallet is if perhaps you were the one who stole it. You weren't, but that would be a way this line would make sense. As the team has no idea where the money is, naturally they all stick to the easily remembered story that they have no idea where the money is, and thus the interrogations go nowhere. At best we see that Breacher's kept under surveillance for a long damn time, and the agents tailing him are more than a little tired of keeping an eye on the nothing he's doing, while arguing over how they're supposed to take a piss break.
I'm not using that bottle, man. I ain't sticking my dick nowhere your dick has been. Damn that.
You ain't say that about Rebecca?
When you fuck Rebecca?
Also, these two are the closest the movie ever gets to likable characters. Arguing over who gets to piss in a bottle is the nicest thing anyone talks about. To hammer that point home, Breacher goes to work, doing basic paperwork as he's still under investigation. That doesn't mean his coworkers can't come up to him taunting and accusing him of stealing the money. Not just when he's trying to work, but a whole different guy later when he's trying to use the bathroom.
That he died for a good cause, making you rich.
Tell them you let me disarm you.
Oh, come on, you just smacked the X button while it flashed over his head. It's not that impressive. However, this day takes an interesting turn when we find out that investigation into the alleged theft has ended. Inconclusive, but the feds aren't going to waste any more resources chasing ghosts. That means Breacher can get back to breaching. That is, if he agrees to.
What if I gave you your team back?
Don't fuck with me.
No one wants you, John. I've got nowhere else to stick you.
You like fat-free potato chips. No one interested in snacks is really gonna buy you, but it's not like we can stock you with the dietary supplements. But where's his team? All gathered around doing fuck all outside of a lot of infighting and being insufferable jackasses.
How's he tattooing a dick on your back, Pyro?
You know what, bro? This is a fallen soldier, all right? Will you fucking dial it down? I just lost a buddy down range.
Easy.
These guys also seem to have a pretty fucked up idea of what dicks look like. And they're not the only ones, considering after Schwarzenegger shows up with the good news that the investigation is over and they can get back to work.
Is that a dick?
Dude,
That's a self-portrait.
where's the fucking mirror?
Working extra hard to make these characters even more likable, I say. First things first, though, it's been a while, so they're probably a little rusty. Especially Lizzie, who has obviously been hitting the drugs even harder than usual. Oh well, she can have her rifle and live ammunition just the same. They have to coordinate as a complete team.
Fuck you doing?
Seriously?
Fuck you.
First in the
That's the way to wait for the team there. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
Fucking do it. You gonna get in my fucking way every time?
And they're just as coordinated as any team in CSGO. That's not the problem with their methods, though, is that they can't see through solid objects to catch the ninja mannequins in the so-called cleared rooms. Monster thinks their group lacks the synergy it used to have because the team doesn't trust each other anymore. So to bring everyone together, Breacher shows them he trusts them completely with this little stunt. I wonder if that scene was a brainchild of an aging Schwarzenegger. Have a nice action sequence with kicking doors in and gunfire everywhere, and all he has to do is lean back on a couch smoking a cigar. To celebrate getting their jobs back and being a team again, naturally, they head to the strip club. This gives the movie a chance to distract us with titties, while Monster shows he hasn't gotten over the stolen $10 million. Breacher tells him to just let it go. There are more important things to worry about.
Motherfucker!
Alright, let's go. We gotta roll, we gotta roll.
Like the movie constantly reminding us that not a single one of these motherfuckers has any redeeming qualities. Who exactly am I supposed to be rooting for here? At least something good happens soon enough. Pyro wakes up from his drunken partying, and his drinking more and pissing in the sink is interrupted by the realization that his RV just so happens to be parked across some train tracks. And not only can't he drive it away, the doors are locked, and he's too fucking stupid to go through a window. Okay, if this turns out to be a slasher flick starring Thomas the Tank Engine, I can get behind that. The fact that some asshole's body parts are now spread all over the surrounding area means we need to introduce a new character, Detective Caroline Brentwood, played by Olivia Williams. Seems Breacher is the first on the scene, wanting to know just what happened to his poor, good friend.
Train versus Winnebago. Train won.
So why is homicide involved?
Well, some sucker's gotta write it up. Guess that's me.
So around this point in watching the movie, I started thinking, Breacher's the killer, Monster's the red herring. Of course, they say this originally was a 3-hour mystery, and they changed it to 90 minutes to be an action movie, so still doesn't explain the obvious mystery. Before you start thinking they've improved the writing all of a sudden, though, let's introduce Jackson, played by Harold Perrineau, who is quite the fan of Breacher's legendary record.
He's a drug war god.
What? He looks a little down, Darius. Why don't you go suck his dick?
Look at that, they're still unlikable assholes. Who could have seen that coming? As Breacher and the gang are the closest thing to family Pyro had, naturally the investigation continues at Breacher's place.
Strippers here!
Aren't you a little old for this shit?
Open fire. Please, just lay waste to the lot of them. I can only hate so much. After everyone continues to be insufferable cunts, we learn the last person to see Pyro alive was Nick, apparently, and several scenes later, Breacher accompanies the detective to go to Nick's place and see if he can give a statement. Of course, this does not go as planned.
Oh, fuck! Oh!
So I guess ruling it as a possible accident just went out the window? Unless the man tripped over his nail collection shortly before gravity reversed. But Breacher's work here is done. He brought her to Nick, and the man didn't have anything to say. So while she's busy trying to figure out from the sparse clues how to connect this killing to the RV accident, Breacher's team is falling apart, trying to figure out who it is who wants them dead!
Who'd they send up?
Well, who do you think, sweetheart? Check the board! Could be Soto, could be fucking Romero, they could be fucking... maybe they cried fucking...
You see, I like to narrow it down to characters that we have seen and have unique motivations, and there's only one guy here who was sent a videotape of his family being slaughtered. I'm just saying! That and paying attention to obvious ways the story tries to sway our opinions on the characters, like Breacher saying that everyone should calm down and stay together, 'cause they're a team! While at the same time we also see the relationship between Monster and his wife Lizzie is not doing the best, with her trying to sneak behind his back with condoms in tow.
Get out of my way.
No, Lizzie.
It's the stripper!
Can we talk inside?
I'm just screaming at the audience, suspect me! Think of me! I mean, I didn't actually do it, but you gotta have something to distract you. From Monster, the detective learns that being nailed to things and disemboweled is simply a method the drug cartel uses against people they think talk too much. After this, they come up with a magical thumbprint from the RV that did not match any of Breacher's team. They figure the information might be within the DEA, but the other agents are not very forthcoming, stating that if they want any information, it must be specifically cited with names, dates, and the numbers the incidents were filed under.
So how are we going to know those numbers if we don't know those numbers?
Well, if you don't know really what you want, what are you doing here?
So everyone's an asshole. I'm glad we established that for the 50th time. But someone slipped a thumb drive into her car while she wasn't looking, and upon it they find a video of Breacher being interrogated over the missing $10 million.
Why the fuck didn't you tell me you were under investigation for stealing from the Rios Garza cartel?
Let's see, you're a homicide detective, and the phrase, "Hey, you probably can't trust me," is not the best way to start a conversation. The idea she has is that the cartel must also believe he stole the money, which they'd only think if someone like the FBI told them that he stole the money, but never mind plot holes like that for a bit. It seems Tripod left Breacher's team and is hiding out off the grid. This means they have to warn him. This is made a little more difficult by the fact that the movie edits in the past while the present is going on, and it's only when everyone's around the truck it makes sense that, oh, that's what they're doing, and the group that came to kill Tripod is in fact not there when Breach and Brentwood are investigating the area.
Send me 2 units and an ME to my location.
Damn, they went cheap on that poetic death with money all over the body thing. Those are all singles. That's like $40. However, on their way out, what would they happen to find but a body of one of the alleged attackers who was taken out by a booby trap? Probably left there because it's always more fun to leave evidence of your crimes. His tattoos reveal him to be aligned with the cartels, so that's where the investigation is going. However, Monster shows up to try and manipulate the direction, and when the detective tells him to tell her something she doesn't already know, he decides to go into detail about their one mission down in Mexico. They had their man, ready to hand him over, but damn it all, the corrupt Mexican police just shot him so he couldn't rat them out. Even worse, though, through some unspecified means, the cartel kidnapped Breacher's family, both his wife and son, and tortured them to death on camera, sending him their bodies in pieces. He obviously sought revenge, but never did manage to get the men responsible.
Caroline, we lost John when they died.
Trying to humanize my character, how dare you! We are all drunken, surly, violent assholes, and I like it that way! His glare is more than enough to send Monster on his way, but later that night, not only do we learn that Caroline likes to swim naked in a filthy pool while drinking, but there happens to be a group of Guatemalan special forces who Breacher just so happens to think were the ones who killed Tripod, and in all likelihood, the others. To prove the link, wouldn't you know it, he has a thumbprint with him.
I just took them off some beer cans inside the hotel room.
Because of course hotel rooms are known for their sterile, spotless cleaning in between uses. With this in hand, she shows her appreciation of Breacher with fucking. The ICE file also contained all sorts of useful information, including credit card numbers that the police managed to tie to active cell phones, which gives them an apartment building that may hold the assassins. However, Breacher and his team just so happen to be listening in on the police chatter, and also head to those apartments in question to deal with the threat their way, by killing the ever-loving fucker of everyone inside who happens to be armed. This results in them finding a shit ton of meth, but not the cartel killers they were actually looking out for.
That's not them.
It's not the Kabyles?
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You mean we killed 6 motherfuckers and it ain't them?
Yeah, but on the bright side, the body count rises.
Well, check again.
Okay. No, still not them.
Oh, fuck. Okay, everyone, here, take some Sharpies. Now go put those cartel tattoo things on their arms, quick! So everyone's dead. Sorry if you wanted to investigate something during your investigation. Oh, but what's this? A fisherman out on the lake happens to have found a big damn pile of dead bodies submerged below. Wouldn't you know it? These guys have those tattoos signifying they're the Guatemalans that all the killings have been blamed on. Except, of course, they've been dead far too long to have committed any of the murders.
Thumb's missing. Right here.
Right. Okay, so that explains how we got thumbprints in Robert's RV, huh?
Shouldn't your first red flag have been that all you've found are thumbprints? Who the fuck goes around doing everything with their thumbs? What, were we actually going on the line of video games turn you into murderers? This revelation leaves the team in shambles. They figure the most likely scenario is that one of them is picking off the rest of the team. We got our usual situation of Monster going off on everyone, and Breacher being like, nah guys, it's cool. Chillax, man. Before Grinder says, fuck all you, he's out. And Lizzie also mentioned she's been fucking Sugar, so they leave together, much to Monster's chagrin. The shit just keeps happening as Grinder catches up with Caroline and spills the beans about how, yeah, they did steal 10 million, but it all disappeared, so who knows where it is now. It's okay, though. Breacher comes through to support him on his decision to go to the police.
We can protect you.
I mean, we won't, but technically we can. The movie wastes no time revealing it was Lizzie who killed the man. Obviously, this is the kind of shit that gets noticed fast, so she's immediately on the run, and not with Monster. Takes but a few minutes of investigating their house to figure out what happened with him.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's disgusting! She didn't even leave an open packet of baking soda in there. They do manage to contact the woman, though, and she does agree to meet them, but knowing he wants their meeting to take place in a parking garage, they can smell the ambush a mile away, so with that in mind, they pick up a little something on the way over. Thus, they get the drop on him!
You down, he down?
Yeah, but he's wearing body armor. Which could easily have been blown through with a tungsten cord 5.56, but this is Hollywood body armor. I think that can stop fucking artillery fire. Have no fear, Caroline is here with our goddamn shotgun.
Oh, shit. It's that bitch.
Okay, I thought I knew how shotguns worked in Hollywood. How in the hell did she miss twice in a row? Because we need to get an action scene. As far as those goes, this isn't a bad concept. Schwarzenegger in a pickup firing upon another car in a high-speed chase with a woman in the trunk firing back. But the editing seems to be actively working against keeping it exciting. Unless, of course, you think extreme close-ups are the pinnacle of entertainment. Either way, after the movie makes the case for the uselessness of bike helmets, the chase comes to an end. Looks like Sugar's gonna come out of that thing looking like icing. So as the story goes, surprise, surprise, it was Lizzie all along!
Why, Lizzie? Why?
Because they stole my money.
Yeah, that was not the originally written ending. There were actually several different endings that were penned for this, but this one in particular I don't really care for, mainly because it makes no fucking sense with everything taken into account. Yeah, money's a motivating factor to commit murder, but you mean to tell me Lizzie got the Guatemalans down there, cut off a thumb, and planted all that thumbprint evidence? Not to mention it was Breacher who was setting up the investigation oh so perfectly all this time. That's because most every other ending had Breacher as the killer. Shocking fucking no one. One version said he could have avenged his family, but his team wouldn't let him, which makes no damn sense, and is almost as bad as the Lizzie ending. But another one went on the idea that he knew his family was given to the cartel because one of his team betrayed him. He could never find out which one, so he just went ahead and killed the lot of them. However, it was also decided that Schwarzenegger shouldn't be the bad guy, so just change it to Lizzie without bothering to change all the evidence and clues leading up to the ending in your goddamn murder mystery film. Anyway, Breacher does confess to actually being the guy who took the money, and then...
What the fuck was that?
Heart shot. She should have been wearing body armor. Wouldn't you know it, though? Schwarzenegger has Batman powers all of a sudden, and once he slips out of frame, he's never seen again. That's because the movie does take the time to explain why in the hell he needed those $10 million. Sure, the Mexican police are corrupt as all hell, but that does mean they can be bought, and he can get the location of his family's killers. He's also a pretty shit negotiator, and I'm pretty sure he could have made this deal for like a couple $100,000 easy, but pile it all on his desk, fuck it, it's not like he's gonna need it after he gets the guy, and murders the fuck out of him, his friends, his gang, and everyone in the bar who doesn't have a set of tits. Fuck it, kill them too! Kill everyone! Problem with this strategy, of course, is that a lot of bullets were going every direction, and he took one himself. So while bleeding out, just have one last artistic drink and a little smoke. The end!
And nothing of value was lost.
So at least the ending does feel a bit satisfying, though a lot of that does have to do with the fact that you're just happy the movie's over. Anyway, that was Sabotage. It ain't that good, which you could probably gather from my incessant whining throughout this review, but allow me to explain. There is very little to like about this movie. The cast of characters are unlikable, and the only ones who seem marginally tolerable are the ones who simply don't have enough screen time for us to learn to hate them. I don't know if this movie would have been better in the original 3-hour cut, but lengthening the mystery aspect doesn't seem like it would help to me, considering most of the endings they came up with don't make sense when stacked against the clues the movie had been building up all along. The overall feeling of this movie is like a late-era bargain bin straight-to-video Seagal flick. Lots of darkness, questionable cinematography, unlikable characters, and you're only watching at the end of the day because of the man in the starring role. I will say that Schwarzenegger didn't give too bad a performance, it wasn't great, but most of the problems I had was with the asshole personality his character was written with. You can have assholes in your movies, but when everyone's an asshole, and they're not even shooting at Druish princesses, it's hard to find enjoyment there. Overall, Sabotage is bad. It's gritty for the sake of being gritty, with titties for the sake of having titties. It's also hard to care about the mystery when it's telegraphed so much throughout the production, only to lead to an ending that doesn't make sense because they changed that without bothering to adjust the mystery to compensate. Still, despite all its flaws, I feel it earns 2 completely obliterated piles of money out of 5. I mean, there is a plot, and some of the action was nice, and the score effects weren't half bad. The movie has to be really shitty to get a 1. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado. And remember, if you're an international assassin, maybe don't cut the thumbs off your gloves before you go around killing people.
But check again.
Okay. No, still not them!